Alright, first thing when it comes to drawing Mario and Luigi, yeah, you don't want to try to make it perfect. They are cartoon characters. They aren't they aren't anatomically perfect. You can just go crazy with it if you want. It shouldn't really matter. Let me get my brush ready. There we go. Normally when drawing Mario and Luigi, I start off with a circle for the head, like this. And then you got the middle with a line, like that. Mario's nose would go right about here. And then here on the edge, this is where his ear would go. I'll do a line right here, because this is where the hat covers. And then it goes straight down and curves. Kind of like this. And his mustache would just come along right there. As for the eyes, it doesn't have to be like some like detailed, like he's got the whole flipping, the middle part, the color, the white, and all that. For this, it's just a simple bing, bang, and that's colored in. That's how simple their eyes are. So you would just go like this, and then like that. And then the eyebrows are like the easiest, it's just like little bumps. Cap would come around, and then his hat would go up like that to the end. And then as for the body, it's kind of similar, but instead of going with just a normal circle, I kind of spread it out, kind of like this, and then his body comes around as a circle underneath. Be kind of like chubbiness. It's kind of like a pear. Think of it like a pear. And then his legs, you can just go like this with it. It doesn't matter. I can give an example of this here. Let me get like some example pictures. Got this one right here. Move this over. Now, I know this isn't the Mario and Luigi art style as of right now. It's just a quick sketch. So we can give these two an example. I'll move the sketch layer up. And fade these out a little, so they're not like too much there. I'll also fade out the sketch and move it up over here. That way I can do another one to the side as a better example of how the art style goes. Like, actually we can use this as an example, like right here, as I was talking about earlier. Circle. Oh, that's white. Circle, right here, and then his nose in the center, right there. And then his cheek comes out and bing in his ear. That's what I was talking about. Oop, bit too far. Luigi is a little different. Instead of, do circle and his cheek comes around like that, Luigi's a little different. His comes down like this. The lines are still the same on the circle, but his head curves and goes down like that. His nose would still be like right here, and then you put his mustache, and the ear would still be in the same spot. See, kind of like how this is right here. And then you got the hat. And the eyes. The eyebrows. And his body, of course, similar to Mario's, except his stretches out longer. Go ahead and do that. Move it over. As said, it's not going to be a perfect art style because this is just like quick, very fast sketches just to get the general idea. So here, I'll turn this one off, and I'll redraw this Luigi down here on the bottom left. Actually, am I even picking up my microphone? Yeah, I am. Okay. I thought I wasn't picking up my microphone for a second. I didn't check it. But yeah, I'll do... Oop, not the move key. I'm at the brush key. Different brush. So I'll start with like a circle. And since he's looking upwards, instead of the line being straight, it's going to be curved like this. So he's looking upwards. His ear would be right about here. And his head curves like that. His nose being right around that center point. I made the nose a little too big. There we go, like that. We got his mustache, which curves around like that. His hair comes down right here. The difference between Luigi's hair is Luigi's is one like this, and Mario's is a double. See, and this is why I was drawing that line earlier. The cap comes around his head like that. This comes out and wraps around. And then the hat connects here. And then goes up and around. And then boing over to behind the ear. And then his hair. And see, this is what I was talking about with his body. Kind of goes out. And then around. You can call this like bottom part of the circle. And then connect it all like that. I'll move this up. Yeah, I'm actually like drawing him pretty big. But that's like pretty normal for me. This is like a giant canvas. Yeah, this. Those buttons are pretty small. Normally the buttons on the art style are, yeah, they're big like this. So someone else drew that. Not the official art style. We'll do it like the original buttons, like this. And then his arm right here comes out. As I said, they're cartoon characters. It does not have to be anatomically correct. You can just go with whatever. He's got his fist right here. So, say this is the fist. It comes around like that. You got his thumb right here. And the glove right here connects it. As for that, you can just do the simple lines. There's his hand. Same this way. Make a circle for the hand. Thumb comes out. And boom, there's his other hand. With the little dots on his end. And the fun part with the legs, as I said, it doesn't have to be like accurate or anything either. So his leg, let's say it connects here, so boom. There's the first part, and then the second part, which comes out forward. And then the shoe. Since the shoe is in second parts because of the sole, you can like detach this like that. And then boom, shoe. And this other one, since it's going backwards, right here. And then this part actually goes behind. You don't see it. That's why it looks shrunken down and goes out like this. And then there's his other shoe. Anything is like super easy to draw once you get the basics down. Because if you look at the sketch, everything is drawn with circles, rectangles, and triangles. Like it's just basic shapes. I normally, whenever I'm drawing something, I break it down into simple shapes. So if you want to actually I'll scale this down. Let me zoom out so I can select it all. See? All it took was basic shapes. And I got that thing almost practically pinpoint accurate on the drawing. You don't have to go crazy with it, just simple shapes is all it takes. This is what my sketches normally look like. So I'll and then whenever I go do the line art, I'll do another sketch over this before I do the line art. It's kind of like a finer sketch is what I'd call it. So then I would go over on a second layer, and boom, here's his eyes. So we'll put his eyes here. Ooh, actually, that looks a little off to me. I think I know my problem. I'll fix it in a bit. Eyes. See that farther apart, turn it. One. Put it right here. I'll actually erase some of it. Actually, I'll erase that whole thing. Okay, his eyes, then his eyebrows. I also completely forgot the L up here. We'll wing, put this here. Go around. And just do a quick sketch. A quick going back over it. Going back over everything and just smoothing it out and making it look a little better. And you can always use references. This is references is your biggest friend when it comes to drawing characters. If you don't know how to draw a character, always use references. I do it all the time, and I don't think people really understand that. Using references is always okay, but stealing art or tracing it is not. Let's say this, I'm drawing this, right? I used it as reference to make this. It is okay to draw and make this, but always make sure to give credit. Just because you copied it doesn't mean it doesn't mean it's yours. They did draw this first, and you should give credit. I do not know the artist for this. I quickly pulled this off of Google, but I'm probably sure I can find them later. Though in this case, it doesn't matter. I'm just showing you how to draw the art style. But copying a drawing, if you're using it as reference, give credit if you are drawing it one-to-one. Now, if you're just using it for art style, let's say you're using it to look at it, see what the art style is, and you do your own pose. Let's say, okay, I'll just do a little quick figure. Let's say Luigi is this. He's charging. We'll say we're gonna make him run as fast as he can. This is him. charging as fast as he can. But instead, we draw him in like this art style, right? You use it as reference for the art style, but you have made your own new thing and it's not the exact same. This is fine, like perfectly fine. But if you're drawing the same exact thing one-to-one, give credit. Now, I'm sure you're not going to draw stuff one-to-one, but I'm just going to go ahead and say that. I'm just saying this for in case you decide to. And see, since the leg is going back, behind, this is where this overlaps. That's why that part overlaps with the leg. But since this is coming in front, the leg overlaps with the body. That's another thing to take into account. Now we go back over with this. Thumb comes out. Curves back in. And another thing to note with their hands, they are like very round. That's why I did a circle. Like it's just a circle, and then you just go off of the circle. Same with this. It's a circle, and then you go off of the circle. That's another thing to note. It doesn't have to be exactly a circle. You can like deviate, make it like an oval or whatnot. It doesn't have to be just like perfect. And he's almost done with the fine sketch, at least. Ta-da! See, and then we can take the bottom layer off. Boom! Luigi at his finest. And then afterwards, I will fade it out, get a brush to do my line art. You can use whatever brush, it doesn't matter, just whatever suits you. I use this... Oh, oops, I turned the layer on. I use this texture brush. It is a painting, it's an oil painting brush. I said, it doesn't matter what you use. I use this, though for line art, oil painting brush is not good for line art, but I do it anyway because I layer it over. What happens with these is that it has this texture, and let's say I want to do a fill bucket. Oop, there's not the fill bucket. It does not go well with the brush. Now let's say I do the circle and I layer it. and then the fill bucket. It still doesn't work as good, but you can like quickly go over it and boom, done. Another reason why it's not good to use this for line art is because I'll get another layer. I'll make this like this whatever red. The color shows through. You don't want that. Using something like that's a solid color like this. Oop, no, I want black. It's like this would be good. See, like this, do fill bucket, works perfectly fine. It did that little gap because of the shoe. Don't mind that. But like, let's say you do this, and then you have to color underneath it, right? Well, it won't show through. That's what's good about that. So, line art, normally you want to pick a brush or a pen that's not transparent. I'm gonna use my oil brush anyway because I'm used to using it. If you look at their art style, they use solid lines too. It's not brush. The brush part comes from the shading. Because you see they shade around it, like here and there. That's where the shade part comes in. But I'm going to use it anyway for the line art. So like on parts that are bolder, you would make the line thicker. See, like on his nose, on the outside of his nose, you want that to be thick, and then you make that thin. This brush is not good for making thin lines. It's like a single thickness. Okay, actually, I'll switch to the pen for a better example. Thick and thin, like that. And when making line art, you don't want to like sketch it kind of like this. That's what makes the line art bad. You want confident lines, a single stroke, like that. Single stroke lines. That's what makes the good line art. If you have to, you can retry doing it over and over again if you need to. This is fine. Like this. Like, see, if I don't like it, retry, and then continue. We'll go with, actually, I'll like, retry this line. Do I have stabilization too? Yeah, I have stabilization like very high. That was my problem. You know what? I'll go with that. That's fine. And then we just go boing. Actually, I can turn the stabilization back up for this round. Stabilization makes it so your brush does this follow-up behind it. Let's say I turn stabilization off. It does not stop or curve or anything. It will go with your brush. Turning it on, if you do curves, it will go with the curve, and it's better for like that type of stuff. So, see, curve, stabilization up. Good for that. And you can like, actually I'll use the hard eraser for this since it's solid. That, and then you can just like feel this that I missed. And then for the eyes, it's same principle, thick to thin, and the other end of it is thin. Since this eye gets covered, then won't matter that much. Eyebrows, very simple, very easy. They are just little bumps. Fill them in. See, and like I can take this off. Boom! It already looks like Luigi, and that's just the face. So you want to click line that curves. This one's all one line right here. And with this, that. And what I'll do is I'll just like this, and then connect it back with, oops, wrong brush, with a pen and make it look nice. That was almost it. I'll go with that, that's fine. This pen isn't the best for this line art, but it is what it is, it gets the job done. See, and then, boom, it's Luigi, look at him. This is Luigi. See, like a good example of line art of thick and thin, this right here, it gets thick right here, and then it thins out about here, and then gets thick again. Line art, it doesn't really matter as much, just as long as it varies from time to time. You don't want it like too thick or too thin though, and then because then it'll just look weird. I have this brush right here, line art brush, and I used it for a good while because I could draw very thick and very thin with it without having to change the size. Like I could go, let's say this big. I could draw this big with it and still go very thin. Like, see, and then press hard. But I don't really use it anymore because I switched over to this brush. I'll turn this line art off, open this back up, and I'll use the brush I normally use for my line art now, which is this one. This is what gives that paint look I normally use now. This one you can be, with this brush you can actually be a little messy with it, because as I said, it goes for a paint look. This, honestly, I feel like this brush would be like really good for Dream Team's art style, because Dream Team has that painterly look. And then for my eraser, I use a kneaded eraser for this brush because it works well with this. Ta-da! Little brush-looking Luigi, though it's not the same as the art style. I normally use it for just quick, rough line art and coloring, mainly for coloring, and I'll show you the reason why. Here, actually, I'm gonna do this. I'll yank this color from Luigi real quick, and fill this in. The reason why I like this brush so much for coloring is because, well, the paint look. That and it blends real well. So I'll fill up his cap real quick. I'll put white this board. Also, if you're wondering why I color with a gray canvas, like a light gray canvas, it's so the canvas doesn't kill my eyes. It's much easier and better on the eyes. And then I'll take the base color of his skin, a separate layer like this. And his hair. Take the base color of his hair. As I said, Field Bucket would have been like faster for this, but since I used this brush, not faster. And here comes the fun part, shading. He has this dark color right here for his skin. This is his normal skin color. And it uses this dark one right here for the shading. So I'll add another layer. Put it above, that's the hat layer. That one, so skin layer right here. Put it above it. And just shade with it. Put it where the shadow would be. And let's say like it'll be right here too. So I'll put it there. And then I'll get my blend brush with a texture that works good for this. And I'll just texture it out. Get my brush. And then texture it out. I'll even make this texture smaller so it works better. And then he's got these secondary shades, which uses this color. So then you go underneath where they would shade it at. Like that. And then blend it and make it smooth and whatnot. I'm gonna grab these little middle colors too. Just take them and splotch them on there. And then blend them all together. It gives this paint look. And you can take this white, that's the shine of his nose. And then for the hair, you can just take the darker. We don't have to like get too detailed with it. We just want to take the dark part of it and add it. It's literally it. And then we just blend it in with a little texture blender for the paint texture. Cap does the same thing, except with the cap, it actually shades on both sides, which is the fun part. So you would shade it, oh, wrong layer, here, on this side, and over here. What you want to do is like gradually do this, just put it on there. You don't have to like get so detailed with it or whatnot. You can like just sketch it, scratch it on there. Like this. And then just keep gradually getting darker with it. Until it turns into this like gray color. It's like a muted grayish. And then after that, you can just blend it out. You can sketch it, you can just sketch with it too. And then you add a highlight, which is this color right here. Blink. Blend the outside of it. And boom, Luigi. Oop. Didn't mean to do that. It's literally that simple. I'll go ahead and end this off here. Hopefully this is enough to actually teach you how to draw it. Same thing applies for his other clothes. You shade it the same way. You got these shades down here. Right here you got the shades. Let's say this is the wrong layer actually. This is like his middle color right here. I'm on the blend brush. Here, and then this is the bottom and it gets shaded off. And then you have the highlight from underneath. From spectral light. And you can just throw whatever mixed mutual colors in there. That's how they normally shade their stuff. You see, even with the shoes. And as I said, they use like paint brushes. It doesn't have to like be insane or something like this one. It's this. And then they just gradually add this shine on the top. and then they just texture it. Texture blend it, and that's what gives it that look. Now this is going off of, I feel like this drawing is based off of modern colors. If you want the actual Mario and Luigi art style, use the official ones, because this is their actual colors. This one right here. This was going off of this vibrant drawing. This one, this is their actual colors. They use this. Theirs goes wrong brush again. It's like this. The shoe comes over here, like this is the front of the shoe. And they get these darker colors and come along with them on the side. I'll make this a little bigger. Get these darker colors. Accidentally grabbed white. And they come along the front side, like this. And then they start to darken it, and then get this grayed out blue, and shade the end of it like that. And then they'll get these lighter colors for the highlights. And on the very brightest one, they just go boom, simple stroke. And it's all blended together like a paintbrush. That simple. But yeah, I think you get the point. Also, when doing their nose, they use this like very, very dark color. This is his base. We'll say this is the base of his nose. Base color. And then they use this very vibrant orange. They go around with it. Blend them together. And then you can pick the colors in between. Draw them out. Like that. Draw them out. And then the highlight. That's pretty much the nose. Okay, now I'll actually like end it off here. Hopefully this helps.